Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We got Joe Rogan handing out the red pills. Joe Rogan's red pilling this guest, Josh Dubin. Joe Rogan takes this guy from, Trump's a liar, Of course, no examples. Just he's a liar, He's from New York. That's how it is. And Joe just shows him the good people on both side hoax. He just goes through everything. The guy goes from Trump's a liar to like, I don't really know why I was really thinking how it should usually go, At least he's open to it. I don't know what's going on in 2024. Joe Rogan went from I don't want to help Trump to handing out the Trump red pills like he's Morpheus, saying free yourself. It's absolutely amazing. Let's get into this clip.
These days, because there's information that is intravenously injected into your veins, it seems like. So I have a hard time knowing what's true anymore.
Well, the news itself outright lies. It's not like a conversation like we have where Jamie checks it in real time, and I saw a thing that said the swing state or the states that required no voter ID were the ones that she won. She won other ones as well. But when you have the news saying things, so they have researched it, they do know that it's a lie. This is not like a live conversation like we're having, where I didn't know we were going to talk about that at all, nor did you. It just spontaneously came up. These people are putting narratives out there that are just flat out lies, and they're doing it all the time. I mean, Obama did it during the campaign, where he repeated that lie about Donald Trump talking about white supremacists, saying they're very fine people on both sides. So just a flat out lie.
Oh, that was the Unite the Right.
Well, it was all about the statues of Civil War people being taken down. And he's saying, he literally said, I am not talking about white supremacists and the KKK. They should be condemned. He said, I'm talking about people that
Did he say that in the same?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can see it.
So weird.
But go to
I never
the
known
JRE Companion Instagram, because on that page there is what Obama said, and then on the same video there is what Trump actually said. And it's disgusting. It's a disgusting lie. And it's a guy and he's talking about George Washington. He said George Washington had slaves. He said Thomas Jefferson. We're going to take down Thomas Jefferson. Let's play it so you can see it here.
Said that there were very fine people on both sides of a white supremacist rally.
And you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. No, George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down, are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him? Okay, good. Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner. Now we're going to take down his statue. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly. Now,
See, that's crazy. I have never seen that last part of it.
Yeah.
So here is my struggle with the truth on full display. I've never seen that part because
the news has said that lie over and over and over and over and over again. That the news, the mainstream corporate controlled news that wanted this narrative that Donald Trump was a Nazi, said that over and over and over again. They repeated it. They compared him up until the election. Joy Reid was literally comparing him to Stalin, Hitler, and Mussolini, and spent a whole piece describing right-wing dictators, that he is going to be a right-wing dictator just like Hitler, just like Stalin. This is the lie of the media. So this is one of the reasons why it's so hard to tell the truth. It should be illegal to do that. It should be illegal to say that because it's not true. And you're changing the perspective of millions of people, especially low information voters that look at Obama like a thing from the past when time was sane, when the world was normal. A brilliant guy who was the president. If this brilliant guy is willing to lie in front of everybody.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There's no question. They all lie. Trump included. We talked about that earlier. He lies also. This is like the problem.
Right, but did he lie about Biden and about what Biden did? Did he lie about any of that? No.
He's lied plenty.
I'm sure. For sure.
He's lied plenty.
In the context of a campaign where you're completely distorting the perspective of the person you're running against. Not just who they are, but what they've done and what they've said and what they stand for.
He does the same thing, though.
But did he do that with Biden?
I believe he did.
How did he do it?
I think that there were many times where he would accuse him of having created the problem at the border, that it was all his creation. People don't seem to remember that when Trump was president, his border policies of separating families at the border was not great.
It was not great, but do you understand that Obama had those exact same policies?
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Right.
I'm just saying you
but
can
you know
distort
that this
it.
is just what they do with children when a parent's arrested, they separate the families. This is
that happened under Obama, but under Trump, it wasn't just separating the children. It was separating them for indefinite periods. So,
is there a difference in the way Obama handled it in the separation?
I'm not going to speak to something I don't know.
Right, so that's a problem, right? So it's a problem if you're accusing him of that.
Here's the thing. I think they all lie.
How do you not know that? You're either lying or you don't know that we have troops deployed in war zone.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it is that Trump repeats things that he heard that are moronic and nonsensical sometimes, and that takes away from the great he can do.
He definitely does that,
right? Like talking about people eating dogs and cats and the election being rigged, all sort of baseless takes away from the fact that, the things that stick out to me, and it's like, get out of your own way, bro. He pardoned Jack Johnson. He pardoned one of my clients. I think that he has done more and cared more about criminal justice reform than any other president in my lifetime.
And no one ever wants to highlight the good things.
Yeah,
that guy's done.
That's why I just did it. Yeah. And I just, it's frustrating to me because it's like, just don't listen to the last thing everyone told you, because you can be great. You can. I mean, the fact that he does what he wants and says what he wants and gets elected.
Look at this. This is what Dan Crenshaw responded with. No U.S. troops, active combat zones, ? How did ABC let Kamala get away with that during the debate? U.S. sailors and Marines are fighting off Houthi attacks in Yemen. Over 3,400 troops are engaged in Iraq and Syria. We have forces in Western Africa battling terrorists. Just this year, 3 U.S. soldiers were killed and 40 injured in Jordan by an Iranian-made drone. Nearly 1,000 troops are still deployed in Syria, and 2,500 remain in Iraq under Operation Inherent Resolve. So that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's a crazy thing to say. But it just shows you how corrupt the relationship is between the media and what we get to see. It's corrupt. There's a bunch of people that had decided that they were going to fact-check Trump continually and not fact-check her. And they were doing this because they wanted her to look better than him, because they wanted her to win.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have, and this is why I mentioned, it's difficult to understand. I feel like I'm sitting here and I feel manipulated by the fact that I never, and it's really on me, that I didn't go and watch the entirety of that comment.
Right.
Because I literally don't think I've ever listened to the part where he says, obviously the neo-Nazis and, the people that were there for the wrong reasons need to be condemned. When I was watching recently, I was talking to the great Dubin about this. He pointed out to me that comment about Liz Cheney. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, go watch the full clip.
Right. It's another one.
And I watched the full clip and I was like,
it's enraging.
This is so out of context. So then you start to wonder, well, how much is my opinion of him been formed by my concern about other people lashing out at me?
Yes.
I mean, you should hear the shit I got when I spoke ill of Kamala Harris by, I guess call them the left. And it was like infuriating to me. So I don't.
Spoke ill of Kamala Harris, got attacked by the left in New York. Like this guy knows Alvin Bragg. Like he's like, that type of left. So he knows that he gets attacked by the left if he speaks ill of Kamala Harris, which he did one time. Then he also knows that Trump did more for, I believe he said, prison reform, criminal reform, than any other president in his lifetime. He knows these things, yet still will take the mindset of, well, he's a liar. He's lied plenty. ... Zero examples given. And then when Joe gives him the opportunity, he's like, when he said that the border was Biden's fault, and it was Biden's fault. That's the thing. And it's funny because you think when someone's a lawyer that they're not this low information type of person, or, mainstream media, I don't know, whatever you want, TDS, brainwash, whatever you want to call it. You think they're not going to be like that, but he still is. Like, he doesn't know that Biden undid everything that Trump did. Just taking away Remain in Mexico alone. Like, he does. Like, how do you not know about this? This is stuff that a lot of people know. And if you're going to take the stance of he's a liar and he lied about saying Biden is at fault for the way the border is today, at least take the time to figure out, what did Biden do? What did Trump do? What did Obama do? What did Obama do that was similar to what Trump did? What did Trump do that Biden undid? Like, you know what I mean? Like, figure it out before you take that stance. It's just very odd. And just so you guys know, an important update, Joy Reid has actually left Twitter. I know, it's sad. It's sad. It's very sad. She left Twitter. She made an announcement. No one cared. Just thought I'd bring that to you. We were all happy, in fact. Very happy. So it was just funny the way this guy was doing the whole both side-isms. Both sides. A lot of people, when they're on the left and they felt the attacks and they know that the left is wrong, they resort to the whole, it's both sides, both sides. Because that's how they get away with poking at the left. They go, I'm going to say something about the left, but listen, the right does this too. And they feel like they're in the middle. But we know what they're doing. It's silly. But there you go. Joe Rogan handing out the red pills. I love to see this, because I've been following since Rogan said, I don't want to help him. I don't want him on the podcast. Ever since then, I've been like, what's going on with that? And slowly watching him year after year, episode after episode, just realizing how wrong he was. And you know what? Huge shout out to him for having that mindset against Trump and then evolving it into endorsing him, having him on the podcast. And now he's speaking the mega gospel. Oh, how great this is. The mega gospel, It's so good to see. What else do I got here? Yeah, Biden did create the problem. And also, the way this guy brings up, he's talking about the families being separated. Listen, I get that that's a big issue. I get people don't like that. That's not the issue when it comes to the border. I get it. It's terrible. I'm sure it's sad. I understand 100%. I have a child. It'd be sad to be separated from my child. I understand completely. Okay? But the actual problem with the border was millions of people coming in unchecked. That's the first problem. That's the only problem, really. Well, he's separating families. Oh, well, yeah. Hey, did a terrorist just walk through? Oh, I don't know. I was just worried about the separating of the family. Hey, was that a cartel member? What was all of that white powder he was carrying? I was just a family. I'm not. Again, I get it. It's very sad. It's very sad. I understand. But there's other things happening. Who's in the country? Who came in? Did anybody check? That's the real problem. That's just me, though. That's just me. I don't know. I'm built there. I see things differently. I don't know. But I get it, you know, family separated. It's sad. It's sad. It's terror. There might be terrorists in the country. I don't know. There might be a dozen terrorists in the country. But you know, family separate. Okay. Sorry. My apologies, guys. But it is fun to see Rogan speaking the gospel the way that he is, saying all the things that he's saying. It's so nice to see him come around. You know, I'm gonna end it off with Rogan saying this because it's beautiful to see. He understands what's going on. And by that, there's going to be at least 100 million people who are going to hear him say this kind of stuff, because that's how many downloads at least he's getting a year.
But it's Donald Trump as the messenger was so polarizing that people lost what's really going on just based on who this guy is, who has, like, just like Tony Hinchcliffe is an insult comic, Donald Trump's entire career is, you're fired.
Yep.
You're a loser. Rosie O'Donnell's a loser. Like, that's his whole shtick. And you expect him to course correct once he gets into office? No, he's not. That's not who he is. You elected that guy. But along with that, now you get RFK Jr., you get Tulsi Gabbard, you get Elon Musk, and you get J.D. Vance. You get brilliant people who aren't ideologically captured, two of them who used to be Democrats, one of them that probably knows more about environmental polluting and about the problems with pharmaceutical drug companies and health and the consequences of all sorts of pesticides and herbicides, ingredients in your food that should be banned and are banned in another country. You got that guy in there now.
Yep.
And we got a real chance to make real change. This is like one of the first times ever where there's a real chance to make real tangible change that's going to be for the good of everybody.
Yeah,
and he's got to unite people. He's got to not attack the left and not attack everybody. Let them all talk their but unite. Now it's time to unite everybody.
Joe Rogan 100% gets it. It's good for everybody. I love that he just said that. Man. Joe Rogan handing out the red pills, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I was by myself handing out red pills. All of a sudden, Rogan comes and joins. This is not Aleister Crowley for everybody watching. How many emails I've got about Aleister Crowley on my wall. It's Joe Rogan. Jesus. Anyway, he's handing out the red pills, guys. Get you some. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that on YouTube. No, YouTube. No. Sorry, YouTube. Hold on. Let me explain. YouTube. They're not actual. It's not actual substance. It's like a thought thing. It's when you're like conservative and right leaning, you get red pilled. It opens your eyes to how good things are on the right and Trump. It's not a real pill. It's not a real pill. I'll stop saying the word pill. Sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna end the episode. Okay. Like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Other than that, I'm out.